In the farthest reaches of the known world, beyond the great seas and towering cliffs, there lay a mystical archipelago known only in legend. The Golden Isles. The islands were said to shine like fire at sunset, their shores made of glittering sands, while hidden within were untold treasures, guarded by forces more ancient than time itself. Few believed the isles were real, but many dreamed of them. In a bustling coastal village, surrounded by the endless blue of the ocean, lived a girl named Lira. Lira had always felt a deep connection to the sea. She would spend hours at the shoreline, watching the waves roll in and out, listening to the rhythmic crash of the surf. Some nights she swore she could hear a soft melody carried on the wind, a song so beautiful it made her heart ache. The villagers spoke of this melody in whispers, calling it the Song of the Sea, a haunting tune sung by the ancient spirits who ruled the ocean depths. According to legend, those who followed the song would be led to the Golden Isles, where they would be tested by the sea spirits. Only the purest and bravest could return, bearing the treasures of the isles and the blessing of the sea. For as long as she could remember, Lira had dreamed of setting sail to find the Golden Isles. Her father, a fisherman, would tell her stories of brave adventurers who went searching for the isles but never returned. Still, Lira believed the journey was possible and that the Song of the Sea was calling to her, whispering secrets only she could hear. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden light across the water, Lira sat by the shore. The wind was soft, the waves gentle, and then, ever so faintly, she heard it, the Song of the Sea. This time, it was clearer than it had ever been. The melody tugged at her soul, filling her with an undeniable urge to follow. Her heart raced as she stood and faced the ocean. The song seemed to come from somewhere far out at sea, beyond the edge of the world she knew. Without a moment's hesitation, Lira ran home, determined to prepare for the journey. She packed only what she needed, a small bag of food, a cloak to protect her from the cold sea air, and a compass her father had given her, though she knew it would be of little use on this magical voyage. That night, as the village slept, Lira quietly made her way to the docks. She chose her father's smallest boat, a sturdy vessel meant for calm waters. As she pushed off from the shore and set sail, the moon rose high in the sky, casting a silver glow on the water. The Song of the Sea was louder now, guiding her like a beacon, pulling her toward the unknown. The journey was peaceful at first, with the stars above and the gentle waves below. Lira felt a sense of calm, as if the sea itself were welcoming her. For hours she sailed, following the melody, which grew stronger with every passing mile. Eventually the stars began to fade as a thick fog rolled in, surrounding her boat like a shroud. Lira felt a chill run down her spine. She had heard stories of the sea's tricks, of sailors lost in endless fog, never to return. But the song continued, and she held fast to its promise. As she sailed deeper into the mist, shapes began to appear in the water, massive shadows gliding beneath the surface, just out of sight. Lira's grip tightened on the tiller, her heart pounding. Yet the shadows did not disturb the water, and the boat drifted on without harm. Then, through the fog, Lira saw something astonishing, a golden glow. It shimmered in the distance, faint but unmistakable. Her pulse quickened. Could it be the Golden Isles? The song grew louder, filling the air with its haunting beauty, as if to confirm her thoughts. Lira sailed toward the glow, her eyes wide with wonder. As she neared, the fog parted, revealing the Golden Isles at last. The sand on the shore glittered like gold dust, and the trees that lined the beach seemed to shimmer with an otherworldly light. It was more beautiful than any story her father had told her. But Lira knew this was only the beginning. The real test lay ahead. She pulled the boat onto the shore and stepped onto the golden sand. As soon as her feet touched the ground, the air around her seemed to hum with energy. She could feel it, a presence, ancient and powerful, watching her. The song of the sea echoed across the island, and the shadows that had followed her beneath the waves now rose from the depths, forming into towering figures made of water and mist. The sea spirits. They moved silently, their forms shifting like waves, their eyes glowing with a pale blue light. Lira stood her ground, her heart pounding in her chest. She had come this far. She couldn't turn back now. One of the spirits stepped forward, its voice like the crashing of waves. "You have followed the song," it said. But the song is only a beginning. To claim the treasures of the Golden Isles, you must face the trials of the sea. Lira swallowed her fear. "I'm ready," she said, her voice steady. The spirit nodded, and with a wave of its hand, the ground beneath Lira began to shift. The golden sand rose up around her, forming a path that led deeper into the island, toward a dense forest of silver trees. Lira took a deep breath and began to walk. The first trial came as she entered the forest. The air was thick with mist, and the trees seemed to whisper as she passed. The path wound through the trees, twisting and turning until Lira was completely disoriented. She couldn't see the way forward, and every direction looked the same. Then she heard it, a faint voice calling her name. It wasn't the song of the sea, but something different, more personal. The voice grew louder, and Lira realized it was coming from the trees themselves. "Lira," the voices whispered. "Do you remember us?" Lira's heart skipped a beat. The voices sounded familiar, like the echoes of dreams she had long forgotten. She closed her eyes and listened, trying to remember. Slowly, the memories came back, memories of her childhood, of moments she had lost, buried beneath the rush of life. She remembered playing by the shore with her father, listening to his stories of the sea. She remembered the first time she had heard the song of the sea, the way it had made her feel alive with wonder. The voices in the trees grew softer, as if satisfied with her remembrance, and the mist began to clear. The path before her straightened, and Lira continued forward, her heart lighter than before. The second trial came as she reached the heart of the island. A great lake stretched out before her, its surface as smooth as glass. In the center of the lake stood a tower, made of gleaming white stone, its top lost in the clouds. Lira knew she had to reach the tower, but there was no bridge, no boat to carry her across the water. As she stood at the water's edge, she noticed a small ripple moving steadily toward her. A moment later, a sleek silver dolphin surfaced, its eyes bright with intelligence. It swam up to the shore and dipped its head as if inviting her to ride. With a smile, Lira climbed onto the dolphin's back. The creature sped across the lake, cutting through the water with ease. As they neared the tower, Lira felt a strange sensation, as if the air around her was thick with magic. The closer they came, the heavier the air felt, until it was almost suffocating. The dolphin stopped at the base of the tower, and Lira dismounted. She looked up at the towering structure and felt a wave of doubt wash over her. How was she supposed to climb it? The walls were smooth, with no handholds or ladders in sight. But then she heard the song of the sea once more, faint but steady, coming from the top of the tower. The melody filled her with renewed determination. She placed her hand on the wall, and to her surprise, the stone began to shift beneath her fingers, forming steps. Lira began to climb, each step taking her higher into the sky. The air grew thinner, the wind colder, but she pressed on, the song guiding her upward. Finally, after what felt like hours of climbing, she reached the top. There, on a pedestal of white stone, sat a golden conch shell, glowing with a soft, warm light. Lira knew this was the treasure she had been seeking, the source of the song of the sea. She reached out and took the conch in her hands. The moment she touched it, the song grew louder, filling her with a sense of peace and fulfillment. She had passed the trials. The treasure was hers. As she held the conch to her ear, she heard the voice of the sea spirits once more. You have proven yourself, Lira. The treasures of the Golden Isles are now yours. But remember, with great power comes great responsibility. Use the song wisely, and it will guide you.